I'm taking you to some craft stores today. So if you're into craft stores, which I assume you are since you're watching this video, go ahead and visit them. Support local businesses and less of Michael's and Hobby Lobby. Especially not Hobby Lobby. The place is weird. Okay, let's go.
Hi, I'm Olivia, your friend from Colorado, and I'm going to take you to a bunch of craft stores in and around the Denver area. Everything from recycled craft supplies, paint shops that have been open since the 1800s, and yarn shops, as well as some suggestions on where to grab a bite to eat if you're doing this craft store route, and a peek into one of the new and funky Denver buildings and its gorgeous cafe.
The first craft store that we are going to be visiting is called the Craft Box. It's this tiny little craft store. Think like a thrift store, but craft supplies. Because it is more of a thrift store in a sense, and less like a Michael's or a Joann's, may she rest in peace. If you're looking for something super specific, you might not find it there. But the fun part is you get to kind of mix and match, and everything is super affordable.
The Craft Box is located in Wheat Ridge, which is west, about 20 minutes give or take from downtown. This little shop has a ton of random craft supplies that are either donated or taken from an overstock. It's got a thrift store vibe, where you can spend a good amount of time looking in one spot at all of the items that they have. I like this store for when I want a bit of a challenge, like for example, limiting myself to only $10 to make a full project. It could even be fun to challenge myself by making a full project only using the yarn in one of these grab bags too. If you're needing trinkets and charms for other projects, this is also a really great place to look. They charge maybe $1.25 for a small bag of mixed and matched charms. They have a huge selection of fabrics as well, as this store is well stocked in all things textile crafts. As far as stationery, it's a bit sparse. There isn't really a pen selection, there's not pencils, paints, or sketchbooks, but if you're into stamps, I think they've got you covered.
Box itself is more of a craft store and less of an art store, if that makes sense. So if you're looking for things that are, as I said, sewing supplies, quilting supplies, knitting, crocheting, there's a ton of stamps. I would say scrapbooking, embroidery, things of that sort, but there's not really there's not paints, there's not stationery supplies, there's no sketchbooks. So if you're looking for things like that, maybe you will find those things at this next shop. Makeshift Crafts Supplies, I think. I haven't been to this one, so we're gonna pop by and see what we got. Hopefully they will be okay with me filming. Most of the time when I ask, people are usually fine with it, but you know, sometimes people aren't comfortable with it, so we'll see.
I knew I was going to like this shop from the moment I arrived. No idea what gave it away. Makeshift Crafts is further north from Denver, but definitely worth the drive. There's a little bit of everything, including this cute wool garland bar to build your own garland. Everything for the kiddos are all at kid height, which was intentional, is what they told me. There's plenty of pens and art supplies, colorful notebooks, embroidery floss, and stickers, along with many bookish-aimed trinkets. There's also a craft lounge, this third space where people are encouraged to just bring their crafts and work on them there. as well as a variety of workshops that are offered that come with store discounts when you take the workshop. Overall, I liked this shop's emphasis on community and the big wall of yarn. It's a tiny, tiny little store, super cute though. They have this little area called the living room or the lounge, I don't remember, but basically it's just a spot where you can bring your own crafts and work on the crafts that you have there, which I thought was like such a good idea and super cute. They host a ton of workshops as well, apparently, all sorts of different workshops. The owner was saying that her hobby is hobbies and she wants to make it accessible, and she's always trying to make sure that if you sign up for any of the workshops that all of the supplies are included, and then after that you can have a discount on other supplies in the store if you take one of the workshops. So I thought that was cool. There was some stationery stuff, there was some notebooks, a couple of sketchbooks, but you had to look for them. A lot of just ballpoint pens, some markers and things of that sort. There were some paints, some watercolor paints, but it was just kind of like a little bit of everything. So if you're looking for something that is like a big store for all art supplies, I wouldn't suggest this one either, but it is very cute. It's very niche. It's a really cute store though. There's a lot of really quality stuff in there and just adorable items in there that you can just add to your craft, but it seems like that they have more of a spot to curate community, which I really appreciate. This next shop is Guiry's, Denver's paint shop. They opened in the late 1800s and since then have expanded to multiple locations. If you're looking for professional painter supplies, oils, gouache, acrylic, or watercolor, this is the place to find it. They'll have all of the paintbrushes, mixers, palettes, canvases, and paper pads that you could possibly want. We were starting to get a little hungry, so we decided to make a stop at Avanti. This place is great for when you're with others or just can't decide on what to eat, because it's got a handful of different food options all in one place, and a bunch of really cute places to sit.
The next shop we're gonna head over to is a yarn shop. I haven't been there yet, but because I'm currently back on my crochet hook, whatever the fuck, that's funny, aren't I funny? Old lady jokes.
Back on my crochet hook.
Back on my crochet hook. We are going to this yarn shop that I have just found on the maps. I think it's just straight up called Yarn Shop. So we'll see how it goes. We'll look at the prices. We'll see what that looks like. And if it can compete with the other little shops that we've been to already.
Big bitch.
Okay, so apparently you have to call in order to gain entry. So it's a little hidden away, it's a little tucked away, and that's probably why I've never heard of this place before, but we're getting in there.
Oh. We just got back from the yarn shop. The owner, I think, was just uncomfortable with me filming, so I didn't film anything, but I did get this cute photo. She was super, super informative. Types of yarn, what to use, crochet versus knitting, like all of that jazz. So I would highly recommend it. There's not like a ton of options, but there's a lot of really high quality options, and they're also not like $50 unless you're trying to make, you know, something pretty big. But if you're just getting like a couple of balls of yarn, then they're actually not super pricey. There was also a vintage side that Frankie found a really cute, really good leather bag for like a wild price. I recommend it. I think it's a cute little shop. It's a little strange to get into. You just have to call and let them know that you are there to like come in. But otherwise, I liked it. I thought it was cute. The next place we're stopping is not a craft store. We're doing a little coffee shop break, and this is one of the newer buildings that just got built in Denver called the Populous Building. It's a hotel, and there's a coffee shop downstairs that we're gonna stop at called Little Owl Cafe. I know, it's cute. So this building, a lot of people have really strong opinions on. They either really love it or they really hate it, and I understand that it can kind of trigger that holes phobia. So if you don't like holes, I'm gonna tell you now, don't look at this, and I will put a little timestamp of like the little times that I'm putting it on screen. It's inspired by the aspen trees, so that's why it's got all of these weird eye-shaped windows on it, is because it's supposed to be inspired by the aspen tree.
People either love or hate this building, and while yes, it's a strange design, I kind of like that Denver has this Colorado-inspired building that's unique and definitely will or already has become a landmark of Denver. Little Owl Cafe is inside the Populous Hotel, just to your right as you walk in. We both ordered one of the specialties, and the person who created the recipe was the person making our drinks, so it was extra delicious. The whole building is inspired by nature, so everything inside is all very earthy and has a ton of wood elements in the decor. The windows are definitely my favorite part, because from the inside they keep that funky eye shape and are tinted, so you can sit right next to them and see through those iconic aspen eyes.
That was Little Owl Cafe. Super cute. That was the first time I'd ever been there. We're headed to ReCreative. This place is one of my favorite places in Denver because it's like a thrift store, but for craft items. So anything that people just want to donate, I think it's a nonprofit. So people will just donate their craft items to the store and you can buy them for like super cheap. There is a place in Colorado Springs also called Who Gives a Scrap that is similar. I know, it's cute. That's a similar thing and it's way bigger. So if you're in Colorado Springs at any point or if you live down there, I would highly recommend Who Gives a Scrap. But this one is the one that is in Denver.
It's a pretty large space with a ton of different drawers, crannies, and cubbies to sift through for compiling your next project. Frankie even found some gorgeous bottles for their oil making and stocked up.
But I would need like a third.
I bet those corks would fit for sure.
Oh, let's fucking go.
They hold a lot of events and workshops, so it's worth keeping up with them online if you're wanting to get into the crafting community here in Denver. The other room is mostly textile and textile adjacent items, as well as where they hold their workshops. And the upstairs is a collection of artist studios, which I'd never explored before.
So I met one of the artists that work at ReCreative, and this is their little studio. This is their shop in the very, very back. So if you go all the way upstairs and you go all the way to the back, there's this little shop that there are some really, really affordable priced items here, which, so if you're ever here, definitely come up to the top, go all the way to the back. You'll find some really great spiritual items. So that was ReCreative, obviously one of my favorite places for obvious reasons, and I never went upstairs prior to this. So we just found a little witchy spiritual shop, unbeknownst to me, with insane prices, so highly recommend. Frankie went a little ham. which was
did go a little ham.
which was great because it's one of my favorite places, and it's a good cause. Like it's all recycled and reused stuff. But the next one we're going to is an art supply store. So similar to Guiry's, it's gonna have pretty much like everything that you can think of, but it's all new stuff. I haven't been here in a while, but I remember it being pretty big and having like a lot of items. So yeah, that's where we're gonna go now.
I like to describe this one as a Barnes & Noble, but for art supplies. This is also one of the OGs of art stores here. It's got everything from stationery, sketch pads, paint brushes for whatever medium of your choice, and even blocks of clay.
You gotta make sure your thumbs are out so you don't break them. The going does is that you don't break your thumbs.
Okay, this last shop that we're going to today is called the Lamb Shop. It's a yarn shop. It's in a really cute little strip area where there's a bunch of little boutiques and coffee shops and whatnot that you can check out. I have also not been here, so this is my first time coming in also.
Lamb Shop was so cute, and it looked like they also held events. Inside, we were welcomed with a circle of knitters, all catching up with each other at the communal table in the center. Granted, these yarns were pricier than other places, but they were also so specific in the make, the weight, texture, and there were so many tools that I'd never seen before. It was definitely a specialty store. Not a place I would suggest for beginners, but if you are really particular about your yarn, Lamb Shop is a great place to check out. To finish out this hot day, stop at the ice cream place next door. There's a few other places in Denver, like Flax and Twine if you want more yarn, or Point Creative for a small but niche stationery store that I didn't get to take you to. But I hope that you enjoyed your visit to these Denver craft stores with me, and I hope that you come back to visit soon. There's so many places in Colorado that I'd love to show you around to. Until then, may your gods treat you as you've treated others. And remember to live curiously. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.